the Mirthmobile.
I think we'll go with a little
Mixtape Monday.
Excellent to each other.
party on, dudes!
Next party on!
Party on, Wayne!
Party on, John.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week of Mixtape Mondays. And I'm not sure if Roman's actually going to be joining us today, but actually, no. Guys, he is here.
Back.
We got bail money. We got him out. What's up, Roman?
I don't want to say I didn't enjoy my time in federal incarceration because I didn't. But, it's not the time you spend there. It's the people you spend it with. And that's what you need to keep in mind.
So the FBI finally came knocking on your door, finally came and got you. And
it was just a matter of time. To be fair, given our topics as of late and our ability to run amok with them, it's really surprising they haven't shown up already. The clock was ticking. Nice thing was I was in the bathroom trying to empty my bowels after Taco Bell. So it really worked out as well as it possibly could have.
Wow, this just really got weird.
Right.
Well, if the FBI shows up, you want to be on the toilet when you shit your pants. This way you don't. The door bursts open. You're like, I'm ready, guys. Lay it on me.
Oh, and his son totally sold him out right away too. He's like, oh, he's in the bathroom.
Hey, Dad, FBI's here. Are you still in the shitter? Thank you, son. Indeed, I was in the shitter trying to get out the window, and that's over.
Those bathroom windows are very small, though.
They're very small. They're very narrow. There's a lot of wiggling through, and although when you're not wearing pants, it is both easier and harder, kind of depending on the angle.
So how is the garage treating you today? I feel like it wasn't as hot today.
No, today actually it's okay. The ball fan is still on because you still need to have that airflow. But as far as
you gotta have your one and only biggest fan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I'm able to wear a good hat tonight. So often when you see me, I'm wearing that old, nasty, sweaty Yankees hat. That's because that's absorbing all the moisture that's coming out of my body. So I try not to wear a good hat during the show.
So the more we get you worked up, the more you sweat through your hat.
Yes and no. So like when it is really hot and depending on how much I've had to drink, then the perspiration is a flowing like Niagara Falls. But today, I think today is going to be okay. I think the FBI got the best of it, get best out of it. So it's it'll be all right.
All right. Good to know. All right. Steven, what's going on, buddy? Always good to see you. How you doing this week?
Good. Tackling some drama over the weekend, but I think I'm past it. Got some things going on for the rest of the week. It should all be good.
It should all be good. Yes. As I was saying backstage, I had some family in town for a few days, so I was sort of disconnected a little bit. So I guess I missed out on some of the fun. But
oh, that's great. So did you guys ended up going to Oktoberfest, John?
We did go to Oktoberfest on Friday. Yes.
Nice.
When I looked at my phone the next morning, there were some pictures in it that I forgot taking. I forgot that I took. Nothing bad, nothing weird, but it was just like,
were you wearing lederhosen
and family? No, but my parents were.
All right.
Why not what you think, though. It's a
shorter this week.
It's a full.
Wait,
outfit.
what does that mean? Am I shrinking? Have I reached that age? I mean, it's possible. I am getting older, much like King Viserys from.
Your camera
Dragon.
is. I do feel like your camera is kind of high because you're trying to get all your figures in the.
I actually, yes, I did change the angle of the camera. So, but it's either I can angle it down if that makes everybody happier. Then you get to see.
No, I don't. It's not. I don't think it's the angle. I think it's just the overall height. But I get what you're doing. You're trying to get everything in the shot. It works.
Literally, it's an up or down angle because I haven't changed anything in like a year as far as where the camera. That's
no, to me it looks the same. I think Matt's just trying to.
On the desk.
To me, it looks the same. I think Matt's just trying to mess with you.
I am sitting a little further back because I'm trying to relax and actually enjoy the stream, as opposed to what I do almost every other week, which is endure the stream.
Yes,
endure the stream.
But yes, no, Oktoberfest was fun. But like I said, I looked at some pictures the following day, and like I don't remember taking group photos with the family. But then they did also, because they came out from Idaho, brought me this lovely bottle of Seven Devils straight rye whiskey.
That does look lovely.
Idaho.
Close up on the label, please.
Koenig see that label. It's just getting all washed out. Sorry. Let's see if we can get it in here. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. That's a beauty.
Nice. This is actually my first sip of it, so it's my first couple sips trying it, and it is, because I love rye whiskey. It is delicious.
And that's a local Idaho brand.
Yeah, they went to the distillery, bought it, and then drove out here with it.
Is it smoky with hints of leather and dirt?
It is very good. So really quick, though, before we move forward, I want to say hi to everyone. It's no longer in the chat because he was here so early, but Zach's was in here 3 hours early and commented. I can't even pull it up anymore. It was so long ago. But, of course, as always, Jacob Ironside in the chat.
Woo!
We've got Matt, the Thad that shouldn't be.
Matt.
And who else popped in here? We've got Jay the Deep Minded as well.
Hello, Ms.
I believe Chef Nick Nero. Roman is a slacker. Apparently,
it's good to see Nick out there again.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a few weeks, but he's calling you a slacker, Roman. And I think
what am I going to argue? I can't.
Everybody so
correct.
far.
So it's okay. But usually it's not the audience members that are also attacking me. So, until Jacob Ironside or who does God forbid my brain.
Oh,
is it Jacob it's Jacob who does the memes of me? It is Jacob who does the memes.
Yes.
You're gonna have to forgive me. I am not on point today.
I got you.
You spend some time in federal jail and you tell me how well you do by the time it's 5:00 in the evening. So yeah,
well, here's at least the good thing. The other clip that I forgot to play is that, well, yes, you were in. You also did this. And he's back. Jay the Deep Minded says that I am sitting on a pile of phone books just to mess with you. No, I just know how to properly set my camera. Normally, Roman and John.
Probably why I will never go on camera.
Not a big deal.
Oh,
he dropped out. Oh, are you pouting, Roman? I know you can still hear us.
I pouted, but I only had so much time to pout, and I knew that.
Entirely in pictures, so I noticed things like this. So even Matt saying that usually you're
literally it's the same setup. I usually do sit close to the desk. I'm a little bit further away. Like I said, I don't have a lot to do. I've got the mic set up a little bit differently because otherwise I'm like got my junk all scrunched up against the desk, and that sometimes interferes with the flow of the air from the ball fan. In case anybody is curious about the dynamics.
That's definitely
flow.
That's definitely a problem.
Ball fan.
Okay. So I want everybody to understand, to get the visual of what it's like out here in the
intimate details.
So I know we have
you're here with me in the studio.
We have a little bit of a shorter time frame here. We're going to really keep this one down to an hour today. Just as a quick opening topic before we really dive into, because honestly, that list I sent you, there's a couple of movies on there we can skip. It was
actually pretty good. I have a couple of other honorable mentions myself that are going to be, I think, play into this. But the thing that you sent, and I don't know if you're bringing that up now, that fucking thing from Alan Moore pissed me off today. He's a dick.
Yes. So I just very quickly wanted to touch on this. I thought it was absolutely hilarious that Watchman creator Alan Moore calls adults who love superhero movies infantile and says it's a precursor to that big ugly F word that'll get us canceled from YouTube. But you can see it there for yourself.
I need someone to do the meme. You know, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Are you fucking retarded, Alan Moore?
I should have had
because this makes you sound like you're retarded.
But yeah, it's just it's this whole thing of like, okay, so that's really, so you're a comic book creator, but
that's different than movies.
You want to demonize, not demonize, but you want to talk down to people who enjoy going to see superhero movies.
I think you had that word right the first time, buddy, because that's what it sounds like he wants to do. He sounds like a freaking cock god. I am not happy with Alan Moore.
His quote here, he says, I said around 2011 that I thought it had serious and worrying implications to the future of millions of adults who are queuing up to see Batman movies. Says that's kind of infantilization. Is that even a word? I mean, really, come on. You're just making up words at this point. The urge towards simpler times, simpler realities. I don't think superhero stories are simple at all.
Dude, no, we're not talking 1930s Superman sport.
And here's the other thing that really,
freaking material is way more complicated than that. And the movie Watchmen is one of Zack Snyder's great movies. And Zack Snyder.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that really blew me away. If you've read The Watchmen, which I think everyone here has, and if you've seen the movie, the movie was actually a pretty true telling. There are a lot of scenes where you could follow the movie cell for cell with the comic book. He says here, lining up to see characters and situations that had been created to entertain 12-year-old boys. Okay, so I've read The Watchmen. You've all read The Watchmen. The Watchmen is rife with violence and foul language and nudity. The movie was full of nudity and violence, foul language, everything. Right, I'm like, so you're telling me that you wrote The Watchmen for 12-year-old boys? Like,
what about all the
that was your target audience with that?
Come on,
geopolitics.
Exactly.
Your target audience was 12-year-olds, really?
Oh, the 12-year-olds who knew about Nixon. Oh, because he was really relevant in their lives. And it's not just books like Watchmen, which is definitely aimed at a more mature audience, and Alan Moore is a freaking
he's such a knucklehead. What a knucklehead. He worked for the CIA.
I couldn't even get the words out. I couldn't even get the words out. But you have other comic books like The Ultimate Avengers, which is a more mature Avengers story. And I not could a 12-year-old read it? Sure, but he wouldn't understand all the nuances of the comic. It would be wasted on him. Kingdom Come, which is, the older version of the superheroes. All the nuances are lost on a 12-year-old boy. That's a stupid thing to say. And comic books haven't really been aimed at just kids for a very long time. And Alan Moore knows that. He knows that. He's just trying to get, maybe, is he sad? Does he need attention? Is this the kind of attention you wanted, Alan Moore?
Yes, this is the kind of attention he wants. This is definitely the kind of attention he wants. That's what all of this kind of press is just attention grabbing. It's like when Howard Stern left his mic open and accidentally said something on air. It's the same thing. This is it's nonsense.
This is literally the opposite of what Eric July is doing. This is the opposite. Right. And that's why people like Eric July and now think Alan Moore is a freaking, hanging particle after one takes a dump.
Jay the Deep Minded says, I call misogyny. 12-year-old girls like Batman too.
I'm sorry, Ms. Bond.
Maybe they liked Batman when I don't know. Was there ever like a young, attractive actor that played Batman?
Most of them.
You'd call Michael Keaton young and attractive?
Well, maybe not Michael Keaton, but there are women
George Clooney.
That find
they probably
Michael
liked
very
George
attractive.
Clooney. Even though
the
George Clooney
Adam
Batman
West had action all the time, admitted by himself. He was getting action almost every day, twice a day.
I was say maybe George Clooney, but that one was the worst Batman movie. That was the one with Mr. Freeze.
There are several.
Twinkle Batman gets an audience.
I don't know what we're talking about, and I think I'm okay.
Robert Pattinson.
I'm sorry, the vampire. Yes,
The
I'm sorry.
vampire fella.
I actually had an entirely different thing going on in my head when you said that, Stephen, and I didn't know where it was going. I'm like, did I miss something?
I
maybe
was
some
right there
kind
with
of-
you.
Kind of bizarre
Oh, really?
show that
Oh,
I
I've
did,
heard
and I
him
said- I
referred to
already
as
said-
Twinkle Batman on a dozen different channels. Clobby
I
refers
was
to him
in
as Twinkle
federal
Batman.
prison most of the day.
And you don't know about Twinkles?
Hey, come here. I want you to play Twinkle Batman with me.
Twinkle my Batman.
And save that
Come here,
clip.
boy wonder.
There, CJ
Yes,
the Deep Minded's got our
inappropriate
back.
prison
She said
humor,
she was
that's
watching
how we
Adam West
pass
as a
the day.
12-year-old girl.
Yep, me too.
Wait, you were a 12-year-old girl?
Yes, Jacob has laid another chestnut into the Twitter, by the way.
No. Already?
Yep. Yeah, I think that one will actually work. That'll do good. You know, not to look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah, that'll get the endorphins going.
Oh, Jacob. Jacob, you're the best. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? The problem is that thing's going to be running around my dreams tonight. And this is the Empire's going to be, wake up. Are you okay? What's wrong with you? She'll go. She'll go.
In bed, just like, no.
Oh, Jacob, you're the best. You're
Oh,
the best.
Oh my
yes.
goodness gracious!
Where was I?
I'm thinking of the Rule 34 images that are going through my head with that one. I mean,
oh man,
that's a Roman as a horse. Yeah.
Hey, what'd you call me? Okay. Oh,
We're not going there. Okay, sorry. All right.
That was fantastic.
okay.
Woo.
Van Damme. All right, we got this. So let's just dip right into it, as we were already just talking about Batman.
Mhm.
So this one,
Yes.
it's, the list is, it's 10, whatever. I'm going to add a couple different things. I'm not going to go through everything on this
I
list.
think so. So
because
on this list.
I have two for this one. Like first and foremost, Michael Keaton was the one where he'd really only been known for sort of comedic roles. Beetlejuice, while weird, he was more of a kind of funny slapstick character in Beetlejuice. Mr. Mom, some of this other stuff that he'd done. People are like, oh, he's a comedic actor, he's whatever. And so he cast him as Batman. And Roman, I know you don't like him, whatever. Maybe it's because it takes me back to my childhood.
It's actually, my problem isn't Michael Keaton. My problem is the entire movie. Keaton himself was fine in the role. But remember, I was there, John. I was there 3,000 years ago when this movie came out.
So for me, it's more of a nostalgic childhood thing. I was pretty young when this came out. So I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, you look back on it now, it's extremely campy, but whatever. I mean, you got to think at the time, Tim Burton had done what? Beetlejuice and Pee-wee Herman. Like, what?
Right. Yeah. Edward Scissorhands had not happened yet, had it?
No, because Batman was 89. Edward Scissorhands, I think, was a year or two after Batman.
Okay.
Funny, when I was in federal incarceration, there was a guy called Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, did you make sure to have your soap on a rope so you didn't have to meet his scissor hands?
Michael Keaton was actually an attractive Bruce Wayne compared to Jack Nicholson. I mean, I'm not a big I know the ladies like Jack, but it's for confidence reasons more than good looks.
That was kind of going to be my second part of that, was that Jack Nicholson was the other controversial part of the casting that's not in this list, where people thought that he was too old to play the part of the Joker, which is crazy because this movie came out over 30 years ago.
I just didn't like him as the Joker. So that's my.
I thought William Dafoe, who was just a little hatchling at that point, would have been much better. To Live and Die in L.A. was him playing the Joker. He was so good in To Live and Die in L.A. If you haven't seen it, audience, watch that movie. Really good.
Was that You're gonna have to forgive my brain again. Again, I'm not at my best.
That's the one where he was like a counterfeiter.
Was that a Michael Mann piece though?
I think it might have been. Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't, it felt like a Michael Mann piece.
I will check.
And
I will check.
There were just so many neat. I can go on a tangent about To Live and Die in LA and how that was a fucking great movie and how Batman '89, in retrospect, kind of sucks bat balls. But whatever. People are gonna like what they're gonna like.
Like I said, I liked it. I thought Jack Nicholson was great. I thought Michael Keaton was great. I like Tim Burton movies for the most part. He has made some turds. I mean, he made that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie that was terrible. The Alice in Wonderland movies were bad. But for the most part, I have a lot of love for Tim Burton. But that doesn't mean that everything he makes is great.
William Friedkin, not Michael Mann. I think that was even a little before Michael.
Oh, that was a William Friedkin film. Okay, all right. I think I'm freaking out.
So the next one, and I didn't actually realize this was a controversial thing, because I'll admit I was really behind the curve on catching up on the series on Netflix years and years and years after it ended. But Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad, maybe because people only knew him from Malcolm in the Middle at the time. Mm-hmm. But I watched the show years after it ended, and within the first 1 or 2 episodes, I was instantly hooked. And like, why? I
never would have known this was a controversial thing.
I didn't know it was either. But all I can think of is that like he was the dad in like a goofy sitcom, and then this very dark character, like this very dark role. I don't normally get roped into shows. I have a really hard time getting into a series, because if the first couple episodes don't grab me, I'm kind of whatever. When I finally did decide, like, okay, it's been over for a few years. I keep hearing people talk about it. I'll finally watch it. I mean, Breaking Bad, like, I was glued to my TV until I watched every episode. I think I've actually rewatched the whole thing once or twice at least.
Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law said exactly the same thing. They were hooked and literally like started binging, and they don't binge watch TV at all.
Yeah, I don't
totally
usually
hooked
either
on this show. But Brian was also in, he played one of the characters in one of the Power Ranger series as well. So that must have thrown people off. I mean, there was a whole generation that knew him from Power Rangers.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what a Power Ranger is.
Was he in the show, or I thought he was
voice he played like a computer voice or some sort of like master voice or something. He was like,
because I thought he was a voice in the newer movie, but I don't know about the series. I'll have to look into that. But either way, this was one that I didn't realize that was a controversial choice. But when I kind of thought about it, I thought, okay, he did the goofy sitcom.
I guess Cranston is a very different actor than
he pops up in stuff once in a while where you're just sort of like, oh, there's that guy. Like, and he does all sorts of different characters.
He more really kind of an everyman actor. And I mean, and that's exactly what he was playing in Breaking Bad. Was everyman.
Which is good, because you see a lot of people who get very typecast. Like, they do like one role, and all of a sudden it's okay, you're this. Like, that's it. Right. So the fact that he can play so many different characters. Do we want to talk about A Star Is Born? Does anyone care about that?
I don't know which one. A Star Is Born.
Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Oh,
Lady Gaga.
No, I didn't think. What was startling about that? Was anybody really startled?
No,
by that?
I don't even know how that is on this list, because that seems like a very natural casting. Lady Gaga,
according to the list,
as well as singing,
Lady Gaga was the controversial part. If anything, I would think that Bradley Cooper is the controversial part, because he really did learn how to play guitar and sing for the movie, but he had to learn how to play guitar and sing for the movie. So I actually think this maybe should be flipped the other way, but I think he was like a writer director on it, so of course he's going to cast himself.
The only question I have regarding this is, where was Lord Gaga? I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke.
You're fired. This is another one. Actually, just to not to like rapid fire, because some of these are kind of like, there's not much to say. I also didn't realize this was a controversial. Maybe it's because he was in Fantastic Four. He was already Johnny Flame, and it's like playing two different characters. But that Fantastic Four was a 20th Century Fox property. So this was like a new, like, okay, we're doing the MCU.
And quite honestly, he's almost unrecognizable between his transformation from Johnny Storm to Steve Rogers.
You mean Johnny Flame?
No, Johnny Storm is his actual
there's another
name.
He was doing a lot of college kind of films, much like
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds was doing college.
Yeah, just
type
kind of
films.
whatever
The hangout
movies,
movies.
He's paying the
Yeah.
bills. He's getting the girls, but he built himself up physically so much for this role. Like I said, if you look at the Fantastic Four movie, and then you look at him in this,
It's really bad.
that's
They're all bad.
don't watch the Fantastic Four movie because it's terrible. But physically, the man changed radically for this role,
He
and
did.
and good on him. He's a complete shitbird, but
isn't
man,
it
he was really
a
good as Captain
terrible
America.
thing that men are only obsessed with female superhero bodies, and yet here we have Steve Rogers and Thor, and just I don't think any of the ladies were upset about those superhero bodies.
Yeah, let's not forget Samuel L. Jackson, and I mean, even Robert Downey Jr. The women go gaga over these
No,
guys.
they
and
love
they're-
RDJ.
Mhm.
They
and they're
love him.
talking
Well,
about
Robert
how
Downey
well
Jr.'s
they're
got charisma.
dressed and how fit they are and how confident.
I actually have a caveat to what you just said. The other night, Mrs. of the Empire and Jacob of the Empire, my son, wanted to watch a movie, and we were kind of like, "Well, what are we going to watch tonight?" So we're just kind of going through, and then we wandered across to a movie called Due Date. Due Date is Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis from the Hangover trilogy, and he plays the same character because apparently that's
That
kind of
always
his
plays,
thing. He's a fat guy who acts weird, but Robert Downey Jr. was pretty much Robert Downey Jr. like he is in every film. So basically, you're getting Tony Stark maybe toned down a little bit. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. There was no comedy. The zingers that you're supposed to be laughing at, you're sitting there going, "That's supposed to be funny." That was terrible. It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
You got Zach Galifianakis being Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. being Robert Downey Jr.
But it didn't work. It still didn't work. I know it sounds like it should be,
Yeah,
it should be
not
great,
to me.
but it was not. It was not. The chemistry wasn't there. The writing was so bad.
But
I don't
in
get his form of comedy anyway. So
it's the very like dry, like it's funny because it's awkward, and it's like no,
Well,
it's just awkward.
also,
and
it came out in
uncomfortable.
2010. And I'd never heard of it, which tells you kind of
Yeah.
where it fell.
No, I remember when it came out, but it was very much during that time of like, oh, like this
it's
comedy
funny.
is
We use
funny
that
because
same
it's
exact
awkward.
saying in the federal prison today.
Oh well, that's good.
moving on.
But no, it's
next.
like everybody loved Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark because he's got charisma. Like he didn't get as in shape as some of the other guys, but that was the point of the character of Tony Stark is he's got the suit. He's not necessarily really physically strong, but the charisma that he brought to the character is what made people love him. And we could do a whole other live stream on this, but I came up with this article recently and it was like things in the MCU that aged poorly. And one of the things was all of the Iron Man and the sexist and the this and the that and the whatever. It's like that was part of his story
off too,
to show where he started, where he ended, becoming totally selfless, sacrificing himself, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's
digress.
even a bone of
That
contention between him and Cap.
Yeah.
that article may have pissed me off more than the Alan Moore one, but I'm not sure. They're kind of neck and neck on the pissed off level.
We might pull that one back up we might pull that one back up at a later date because that's a good one. But just real quick, Blair to Blair is in the chat. What is up? Hail to you. Thanks for chiming in
Blair
here.
to Blair.
And Jay the Deep Minded, I agree 100%. Everything that Bryan Cranston is in, he nails it. Whether it's a weird sitcom, whether it's a Breaking Bad.
Do you remember Godzilla? Did anybody else see Godzilla?
I saw
Which
Godzilla.
one?
I thought Bryan was awesome in Godzilla.
For his 7 minutes of screen time.
He was great. He was great as the semi-crazy, but obviously telling the truth kind of guy. So I loved him.
Cranston, I guess, was fine. I hated Godzilla though. Hated it.
Well, I grew up with that stuff as like he was my monster as a kid, and I love every bit of him.
I actually like the old stuff. I like the guy in a suit in Godzilla. I think those are fun to watch. I didn't have a fun time watching modern Godzilla. I know we're off tracking because that's what we do on the show.
Here, Jay the Deep Minded. Never underestimate the power of the female.
Wait, he was in Babylon 5?
What?
Yes, he was. He played a ranger in Babylon 5.
He was a ranger?
Yeah, he played a ranger that sacrificed the whole thing. Spoiler alert.
I don't remember that. I love that show.
It was a brief role, but he was there.
Oh, if it was Godzilla 2014, I didn't see that one. I think I saw one of the newer newer ones. But
Right.
anyways,
Well, yeah,
I digress.
That was like
yeah.
that wasn't the one with what's his fuck.
No, that
I
wasn't
forget.
the.
You know the other one, Matthew Broderick,
Right.
the Matthew
Ferris
Broderick.
Bueller's
Ferris
Day
Bueller meets
in New York
Godzilla.
City. Yeah.
So terrible. Oh my god.
Ferris Bueller's Bad Day.
Oh,
So this next one, I think this next one, and especially the picture. Actually, I'm gonna go to the solo layout for this.
Oh, God.
Just the picture alone is gonna trigger Roman.
mother dick.
Let's get in.
Oh, no,
real
don't get
close on that.
closer. Don't make it closer.
There we go.
Emo Batman.
So Robert
Oh.
Pattinson in The Batman, one of the most recent castings on this list of a controversial casting. And I will admit, I saw this movie. I did not hate it. I didn't like Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. He just came off as this like
No, I hated
emo,
him as Bruce
bratty,
Wayne.
whatever.
Yep.
But overall, as Batman, the movie in general, I didn't hate the movie overall. It was a little long. There were a lot of moments where I was like, "Ooh, that."
You mean
should
the
have been
10 different
that
endings?
could have been
The
the
10
end.
different endings were a
Yeah.
problem for me.
It was problematic in a lot of ways, but I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. Let me just put it that
No,
way.
I agree. I did not like Twinkles as Bruce Wayne, though. He was terrible as Bruce Wayne, and it was just it was not good.
I think they're trying to show.
I like Andy Serkis, and I thought he actually kind of played a good Alfred. But the problem was, and we talked about,
but he was too young.
He's way too young. He wasn't like his dad's age. In which is what Alfred should be, at least, that span of years between the two. And Andy Serkis is way too young for that role. And I think, how old is Pattinson? He's in his
He's probably about my age. He's probably about my age, maybe a little younger. Right. Andy Serkis is like your age,
way too
so
young.
There's not a big enough gap.
No. I mean, could I be your dad? Yes. Should I be your dad?
No.
I know you can joke amongst yourselves on that one, but you're right though. I thought he was fine as Batman. I thought those shots were good. I thought it looked nice, but my problem was 9,000% him as Bruce Wayne was not believable. And
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to show again that like hero's journey, that story arc of where he's going to come. But it's like if the first movie is successful. No, the problem is if the first movie's not successful, you don't get any sequels, so then you just end up with a bratty Bruce Wayne, and you never see his story come to completion. So
no, and he's already Batman year 2 at this point. He in Batman was never emo weepy bitch. He wasn't. He wasn't always as good at what he did. He was messy and he screwed things up. That's what you get out of younger Batman. But you never got this guy. Because he still knew that he had to play the part of Bruce Wayne, even though he was really, Batman was who he was. But, whatever. What do I know?
Well, I feel like they even kind of did this a little bit with Christian Bale in Batman Begins, where before he really takes on the mantle of Batman and he wants to go to the court hearing and he wants to kill the guy that killed his parents. Like there was a little bit of that story, even with Christian Bale, where he's like this young, immature kid that just wants to go and get revenge.
Yep.
And my brain just went blank.
And he made errors. Remember when he went to visit Gordon?
Son of a bitch. Alfred reins him in and is like, you can't just constantly go out looking for revenge. So it's like they kind of did that with Christian Bale, but because Christopher Nolan is a better filmmaker, they did it better.
Yes,
and Jay the Deep-Minded also calls him Twinkles, which is amazing. Twinkles was okay as Batman, but awful as Bruce Wayne. Yes, I think that's where we're all at on this one.
Yeah.
Steven, did you see this movie?
I did not, but I will say in all fairness that there is a younger female audience, a younger male audience as well that really dug this movie. And, I hate to say it, we're kind of getting into that age, and that includes you, John, that we're just being timed out of some of these movies. We're not being considered.
Here's the thing. I make enough money so that I pay to see these movies. I don't know what the kids are doing. They're waiting for it to come out on streaming. Of course, I actually waited for this one to come out on streaming. But if you're making a good enough product, I'm going to go to the theater to see it, especially if it's a superhero movie, because I'm an old nerd.
Apparently, you're an infant and you're a precursor to that big evil F word.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot all the things. Sorry, that was.
So here, Jacob Ironside is saying he wants an aged Batman whose crime fighting is taking its toll on him, which I think is what they were trying to do with Ben Affleck, but that just the
Dark Knight
DC
Returns.
cinematic universe has been it's been such a mess.
Yep.
Steven, you know what I'm talking about with that. Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been saying it for years now.
I've read that one.
Warner Brothers should be brought up on charges by the people that
movie?
hold copyright in the DC universe because they've dropped the ball. They've dropped it, and it's literally bouncing down the stairs at this point. Because, good grief, man, what did they do? They had the animated stuff was perfect.
The animated the Batman animated series is like cinema gold at this point, and it was a TV series.
Even Teen Titans and Justice League were really good properties.
They were.
Yeah.
I completely agree. The problem is they've half-assed done this. They half-assed it in the Christian Bale series with that last film where he comes back.
But again, like Christopher Nolan was very much doing his own thing, and he knew he was doing his own thing.
And with Ben Affleck, he's an older Batman. That's fine, but it's not the Dark Knight Returns story, which is, I think
they were trying to pull from it a little bit.
Story. Yeah, you shouldn't pull from it. You should do the fucking movie.
Because even then, when they did the Batman versus Superman, when Batman's wearing like the iron suit again, like they pulled elements from it.
That was
they didn't do it well.
Yeah, I think the expression is too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon. They didn't earn the right to have Superman versus Batman. They didn't have that.
They're trying to introduce all these story arcs, and then just all of a sudden, we're going to give you the end. It's like, well, no, you should take a couple of years to do this, like Marvel did.
Right.
And I literally just want them. I don't need a buildup. I don't need any other bullshit. I want a one-off movie, The Dark Knight Returns.
Well, have you heard?
Put the good actors in. You can an older actor playing Batman. You get a crazy fuck Joker. You could still use freaking our man Steven
Heath Ledger or
no
River.
No, the one from Boondock Saints.
Willem Dafoe.
William Dafoe.
Words are hard.
William Dafoe. You could use him. It would work. It would work perfectly. People would go to see that.
William Dafoe was never going to play
very
that
much
role.
An older Joker, but
yeah, and it's supposed to be though. Batman. He's 50 years old, so he's slightly younger than me in this series, and he hasn't been Batman for nearly 10 years. He stopped when he was 40. And it's 10 years later, and a whole bunch of shit starts happening. And he comes out and he's Batman again. And it's such a powerful story. And, Zack Snyder did the imagery very well with the 300 and Watchmen. And I have no doubt he could actually do it if this was the story. You're doing this. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're not getting all this mixed up. You're doing this story. It would be fantastic.
All right.
But whatever.
Who's next?
Fine.
That was
Yeah, but that's the problem casting. Is that MCU, as bad as it is now, has been run by mostly the same studio, same people. And originally, at least up to Endgame, they had a story arc they were building up to. The DCU, the DC cinematic universe has largely already said, they're like, no, we don't care. We don't expect any of our movies to tie together. We're just going to do whatever. So have you heard about the Joker 2?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be a musical.
I'm not excited by that. I know some people are okay with it. I'm not okay with it.
It's just my issue. So the Joker, we're getting off script a little bit here, but I've got my next one pulled up. I'll be brief. I'll be very brief. I liked the Joker as a movie. I thought Joaquin Phoenix was great. I thought the movie was great. The story was great. The cinematography, everything. It was a fantastic movie. However, at the end of it, you are making us sympathize with someone who becomes a psychopathic serial killer.
Yeah,
it could have been its own,
but a social influencer as well.
Yeah, it could have been its own movie, totally separate of the DCU, totally separate of the Joker. It could have just been its own movie and its own character, and I would have loved it. But the fact that at the end of it, it's like, well, he's a bad guy.
Yeah. End of the day, he's a bad guy. And you're watching.
I loved the movie. It was fantastic. But I'm like, this is the Joker.
Yep. John, you and I have had that conversation before.
Yeah.
This didn't need to be the Joker. This
No,
literally
it could have been totally removed.
Watching any man in this position go down these terrible steps to what he became.
Yep.
But you take out the Bruce Wayne element, you take out the Thomas Wayne element.
Well, yeah, and how they made the Wayne family the villains. Because they're rich, wealthy, whatever. Oh, they're the bad guys now.
I did not like that. God, I did not like that aspect of the movie at all. I thought that was very contrived. I did not enjoy that.
So, anyways, next one, Daniel Craig. Thoughts?
Well, I liked him. Okay.
I thought he was perfect in Casino Royale.
I loved Casino Royale. I actually like Quantum of Solace, which is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. I liked Skyfall. I freaking hated Spectre. I thought Spectre was a disaster from beginning to end. And another unpopular opinion, I actually didn't mind Die Another Day or Too Early to Die, Fuck Me, I'm Dead, whatever it was called. I thought it was okay. Spectre actually comes behind that in my lineup of Daniel Craig films. And I did like him. He looks old in that last movie, though. Those years definitely got to him. But much like they did with Roger Moore in his later years, he looked ancient. And Sean Connery, when in Diamonds Are Forever, Sean Connery looks old. Never Say Never Again. I don't even talk about because it's not an official Bond movie. But they all reach their shelf life. But did I think it was controversial? No, I thought that's,
Well,
whatever.
I've read all the novels. In the original novels, Daniel Craig is what James Bond actually looked like in all of the novels. Blonde hair, blue eyes, very British, and stacked like he was constructed by a deity. And Daniel coming out of the friggin' water in Casino Royale is just like, holy crap, that guy could hurt.
You're right. He's very impressive, which is also something they said in the federal penitentiary today.
Nice.
But he looked he did. He was like, oh my God, that guy, he is fit.
So that's actually very interesting because this is probably going to shock and appall many people here, but I have never seen a single James Bond movie. But
I don't
find that surprising in the least.
Yeah, well,
I got to know you, and I understand that that's just the way you roll, baby. So,
but from what I've seen, the moment John hasn't seen something, everybody drink.
We're gonna be on the floor, Roman.
when I see all this stuff of how it's like, oh, it was Pierce Brosnan and it was Sean Connery before he went gray. Like all I ever saw, even without seeing the movies, is like, oh, he's always dark haired, he's this, he's that, whatever. So this, I was kind of like, oh, like they're going against the narrative and casting someone blonde haired. But you saying that he goes with what the actual novelization says he should look like. That's actually interesting to say that it's the first time they've cast a blonde haired Bond.
Yeah. Well, Roger Moore was close. He was a light brown haired dude. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the books, he is described like this, chiseled out of stone, blonde hair, blue eyes, very British, very ladies' man, kind of thing. And without the tuxedo on, he's rough around the edges. Mm-hmm. And that's the way Daniel played it in the first one, which I really appreciated.
I loved Casino
He's a
Royale
brute in a suit, period.
That's and people will hate me for this, but that's probably my favorite Bond movie. And then followed by You Only Live Twice, which is a Sean Connery enterprise, which wasn't Goldfinger. Everybody likes Goldfinger. I like Goldfinger too, but I think there were.
Is that what you said when you were in the federal state penitentiary?
I was actually gonna say that, but I didn't want to overwhelm the chat. I didn't want to overwhelm the chat with the federal penitentiary humor.
So yeah, Jay the Deep Minded here is saying like it could be Cavill. He's also British. He was already Superman. The ladies love him. He's dashing. He's handsome. He's fit.
Yeah,
ladies
and boy,
love
can he
Cavill.
box. God, Mission Impossible, his boxing scene with Tom Cruise was awesome. That fight sequence was great in the bathroom. In the bathroom, was it? Or am I just remembering it in a fantasy?
No, he had a couple of. Henry Cavill in the bathroom. There had to be a better way to say that. When I said the word,
yeah. Sorry about that.
It wasn't good. It was almost like I was playing Clue. But yes, yeah, that was he's a good he's a
Oh my
good
goodness.
fighter.
Henry
He's
Cavill in the
really has
bathroom
training.
with the lead pipe.
Funny thing, also said
I
in the
did-
federal penitentiary today.
I
So,
actually did read something recently that they're making a new Clue movie. I wish I could remember who some of I wish I could remember who some of the actors were that they named for it, but it might be your favorite boy Ryan Gosling. I don't remember.
Oh, good.
We need a
actor
new
who can emote no emotions whatsoever.
there's a new Clue movie coming, which again, the old one, very campy, but you gotta love it. It's Tim Curry, it's just
I actually didn't even see those. You know why? Because I didn't care. Just
the old
wasn't
Clue from the 80s.
I don't want to make a Monopoly movie.
hilarious.
Oh, who's going to be the funny man with the monocle?
Come on, but it's Tim Curry as the butler.
No, I think you would really enjoy it with your family. You would probably really enjoy it because it's got that kind of energy. It's almost stir crazy kind of energy.
Clearly,
it's campy
you have
80s.
not met the family of the Empire. Family of the Empire, that's not really their bag, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a strange place, the House of the Empire.
Yeah, I think that they could do a new Clue movie with some expertise, but most of the comedians nowadays are all trying to trump each other. And that's not good for an ensemble. You need everybody to be working together, not trying to one up each other. And that they're all playing to the camera now. And I don't think we know any. Is there an ensemble cast that can work together? Saturday Night Live is a perfect example of how that's just not happening. Everybody's trying to trump each other over.
I mean, come on, look at this. This is classic.
Oh, Madeline Kahn just kills it in this movie.
Oh man, she was so good. She killed it.
Christopher Lloyd, Tim Curry. Come on.
Yep.
I mean, I like these actors, but that doesn't mean I'm going to like the movie. I like Robert Downey Jr. I didn't like Due Date, so.
Has your family seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Roman?
They haven't, but I have. I've addressed this with Mrs. the Empire several times. She's like, no, I just don't feel like watching that kind of movie. I'm like, but Val Kilmer's in it playing a gay detective. He's awesome. No, I just don't feel like watching that tonight. All right, Mrs. of the Empire, fine. I actually watched it on my 2007 cruise when I was on Das Boot. That's when I watched that movie, and it was a great movie. That was right before Robert Downey Jr. became.
He was re-entering the scene. At that
Shane
point.
Black
doing Ally McBeal at the same time. Yeah.
And Shane Black before he made The Predator, which is unforgivable, Shane Black, and I'm talking to you directly. He made some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great reintroduction to Robert Downey Jr. on the big screen, where he hadn't been in a little bit in any kind of relative way. And Val Kilmer is really great. What's it? Gay Perry. Gay Perry is the name of his character.
I mean, really, with RDJ though, like Tropic Thunder was the one that really catapulted him back into popularity.
I love me some Tropic Thunder.
Yep. Yep.
So how do we feel about this one?
Oh,
all right.
I have feelings about it, but they're not for the reasons you think they are.
I have not seen this movie. Shocker, I know.
I literally hate Jamie Foxx in everything he's in.
I don't like Quentin Tarantino, so there we go.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, then no comment. Let's move on to 3 then. Good grief.
It's okay. Steven, we're allowed to disagree. It's okay. It's that kind of show.
Next one.
So you thought this was all right?
Kristen Stewart.
For what it was trying to be, and for a Quentin Tarantino movie, it was a solid piece of cinema. And everybody that likes it loves it. So
here's the deal. I didn't
I recognize.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Roman. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I can't criticize Jamie Foxx in this role because I didn't watch the movie. My problem is I don't like Jamie Foxx in any role. So
you didn't like Ray?
He plays way outside of his type. He plays way outside of his normal type. I can tell you that.
Okay, well,
he's not trying to get an Academy Award. He's not trying to do he's just totally deadpan serious, and he's surrounded by a cast of really top-notch actors. I mean, his cohort in the movie, Mr. Milk Nazi, he's great. The guy from Inglourious Bastards who plays the bad guy in Inglourious Bastards.
Christoph
Waltz. Waltz. Yeah.
Oh, I love him so much. See,
He is excellent, and they play up against God. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio playing evil.
Yeah, because we've all seen the meme.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's classic Tarantino,
right.
and
when the entire
Samuel
House
Jackson
of
playing
is
Uncle
out,
Tom, perfect.
I may give it a go. So you may have sold me on it, but if Jamie Foxx sucks, I'm going to blame you.
You can blame me. The gunplay, the violence, the speed, and the tempo of the movie, top notch. If you're not into Quentin Tarantino, but you're into westerns, this is your movie.
I do like westerns. Yes,
I don't like Quentin Tarantino.
You know what?
So
you can
Matt's
asking,
off,
like, buddy.
You guys know there's older versions of Django. Yes, I know there's other versions. We're kind of going by the list.
I
Jamie
Foxx
is a controversial.
Okay, sorry, we're holding up the list.
Anyways, we got two more to go through here. In this next one, this is one that honestly I can say I thought at the
I'm joking.
This one we can talk more. The next one is kind of whatever. We're gonna skip Kristen Stewart and Princess Diana because I don't think any of us give a crap about that. Exactly. Okay. Didn't even know she played Princess Diana.
Literally two fucks given on.
We're gonna skip that one. Heath Ledger. I mean, what
nobody saw this performance coming. We were all blown away in the theater.
Performance. I remember. So again, as the most outspoken Christopher Nolan fan here on the stream, when he took over the franchise and he did Batman Begins, I thought it was wonderful. It was fantastic. The next movie is announced and they come out and say Heath Ledger, the guy from all those rom-coms and from that cowboy movie, is going to play the Joker. And I was like,
that freaked you out?
The guy from 10 Things I Hate About You, the guy from he's going to be the Joker. And I went and I saw this movie 4 times in theaters, and every time the Joker was on screen, I was literally like on the edge of my seat. I'd already seen the movie, but I'm just like hanging on the edge of my seat, like waiting to see what he's going to say and do next. I love this movie.
I had zero problem with this casting. I didn't even think about it as being a controversial casting thing. I just didn't. I like Heath Ledger as an actor because I'd seen him not in rom-coms really. I saw him. Did you ever see? I guess it was a tag. I call it a rom-com, doesn't really work. Did you ever see A Knight's Tale?
Yeah, yes. I think that kind of qualifies.
I love
it. Was kind of goofy. It was kind of goofy.
Awesome.
It's a good movie. I love A Knight's Tale, but it was another one where it's like it was kind of goofy. It was kind of
Yeah, I think the major criticism was he was too pretty for the role.
Yeah. He was the pretty Australian guy that all the girls loved, and
but there was barely any Heath Ledger in his performance.
Oh no,
he was the Joker, like 200%.
He delved into that part 110%, and they say it's a lot of the reasons of probably why he died is because he ended up having all sorts of substance abuse and whatever stuff that happened. Sadly,
it may have been it.
Yeah. And I've talked to Roman about this too, in that he passed away before this movie hit theaters. But what a lot of people don't realize is that he was partway through filming another movie called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, directed by Terry Gilliam from Monty Python. And I'm honestly surprised that it didn't get more notoriety being his actual last film, because he actually passed midway through filming to where they had to rewrite the ending of the movie and bringing in Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, and Jude Law to kind of round it out. And I actually really love that movie as well. Like, I thought they did a really good job of kind of retconning a little bit and still making the story work with the character, but with the actor passing. And it was great. But this is largely seen as his last movie. And it was a fantastic last movie as well. But anyone that has to play the Joker after this is like, you have some big shoes to fill, and that's not a clown joke.
God damn it. That was actually really bad. I'm ashamed to be here.
And it wasn't meant to be a joke. I was just literally saying that, like, everyone that plays the Joker after this, like, everyone's going to be compared to this.
All with a sense of humor, Roman.
Thad actually brings up this one, and he's right. The Patriot, I love The Patriot so much, and he did a great job in this movie as well. As one of Mel Gibson's sons. Have you seen The Patriot, John?
I have not.
Never mind.
Of course you haven't.
Fuck. I don't. Ah! Yes.
Another movie I haven't seen.
Yes.
Everybody drink.
Nice. So what's the last one? I think I know which one the last one is.
The very last one. And again,
we're rocketing towards
I also didn't think that this was a controversial choice, but apparently Hugh Jackman was a controversial choice for the Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really start watching the X-Men movies until at least like maybe the third one was out, and then I kind of went back and caught up. But apparently, I mean, because in my mind now, Hugh Jackman is inseparable from this character, but apparently people didn't like it at first.
No, the biggest problem I think was he's like way taller. Wolverine's kind of a shorter dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever. I personally, this was one of those things as a comic book reader, I could give a fuck. I thought, I know there's some things I don't let pass, but this one I'm like, whatever, this is fine.
I remember
Matt,
going
you got me
into
there,
the
buddy.
theater with a friend of mine, and we had read all the X-Men books, like the whole run from the beginning of when they introduced the new X-Men, Storm and Nightcrawler and Wolverine and Colossus. We read almost the whole run all the way through together, like as they were coming onto the shelf. So we went into the movie theater saying, I hope this looks good. As soon as he cut that shotgun in half on that guy, we were like, I don't care how tall he is.
I'm in.
We're in. I'm in. That was it. That's all he needed to do.
Yeah, because you didn't think about it. And quite honestly, you don't want to see a 5 foot. What is he, like 5'5"? He's like
he's like
short.
5'5". He's much
I feel like it's a
shorter
really
than even
strange
Jean
detail
Grey.
for a comic book to give.
It is, but you don't want to see that on the big screen. He is not going to be your hero of all the movies if unless you're making a movie about dwarves, in which case that's fine.
Well, I think that the joke is that he was supposed to be like a Wolverine, which is a very small kind of, raccoon-sized creature.
Right.
But
and here Jay the Deep Minded points out that he's really known for a lot of musicals in Broadway, as we've seen in
he has a
The Greatest Showman, other things, but he's done a lot of Broadway, and so that was very Les Mis, a lot of singing and dancing. So for him to come and be this like big badass superhero is kind of a weird thing. But even then, still, it's like now, like I keep seeing all these rumors and this person could be this person. Like I can't see anyone else playing that character right now, so they better really step it up when they recast him.
About this, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. Mrs. of the Empire was in the living room one night, and Matt, the drummer, and I had been on the back porch drinking a little bit, and she was watching Les Mis. And then Matt and I started watching the movie, and the problem was we started kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 it. So every time Jackman would start singing, look down, oh, and she was like, get out. Yeah, it was lovely. It was a fine family evening here at the House of the Empire.
It's always fun. Well, I didn't manage to get to any of my honorable mentions. I had some other stuff. Maybe we can do like a part 2 of this, but I know you guys got to.
Well, I know that Viggo Mortensen, nobody knew that he was going to be as good of as a Aragon. Nobody saw that performance coming. I mean, we had seen him in a couple of things. He wasn't really well known.
He does a lot more of like weirdo, like indie artsy films. Like he was in a David Cronenberg movie recently that was very strange.
Oh,
Michael Cronenberg. I'm sorry. The Crimes of the Future. Yeah, it was bad.
No, he was in a movie called Prophecy, and he played Satan, and that was about the closest thing we had seen him.
Yeah,
that was great. I'll fill your mouth with your mother's feces.
Oh my God,
is that also what you heard in prison today, Roman?
Nice.
Also, from what I heard in prison today.
From prison. Yes. So we might have to do a part 2 of this, but I know I think we gotta all get moving for the evening. I know Steven, you've got another live stream to get into. Roman, you've got things to tend to at the Empire. And then I'm just here drinking whiskey, so
No, you're right. I think we should do a part 2 on this because there are a lot of other things. There are things I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to tonight.
Yeah, we're trying to kind of
which
rapid
is rare.
fire, but
Usually
we get
don't
sidetracked as always.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Sidetracked. Anyway, so real quick around the horn, what do we got going on this week, Roman?
So, I'm out of most of my peripheral stuff this week. I just got a lot going on. I'm going to try to get Andor done on Wednesday. Thursday's a rough day, but it's the last She-Hulk show, and
last
hate
week of
She-Hulk
She-Hulk.
so I have to talk about how much I hate She-Hulk. So, and then on Thursday afternoon, God willing, we're going to be talking about our 5 favorite scary movies. So we're going to have the Thad That Shouldn't Be, or / the Unbearable 73, Matt, who's been on many of our shows. Matt is always a great guest. Prophet of the Dragon, who is my YouTube nemesis, and of course our usual lineup of co-hosts of
Strange
Stephen
characters
and John, who will piss me off, no doubt, throughout the evening. So that's what I am right now. And then I won't be on. I might be on Saturday, Stephen, with our UK friends at 12 over on PJ Maybe's channel. I just kind of gotta see where things go this week.
No worries.
And then we'll then next week. Who knows? Who knows if I'll be alive?
Or back in jail.
So anyway, that's what.
So yeah, real quick, I know you got to go, Steven. What do you got going on?
Well, tonight I'm going over to a young lady. We're doing part 2 of a Studio Ghibli review. Her name is Raquel SSG 2211, and she's also got a gaming channel. And we're just going to be, chilling and kicking through the list. We're about halfway through, just into all of the Ghibli films that everybody actually knows, or Ghibli. There's multiple pronunciations. There's all kinds of.
I literally don't know what you just said, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's anime.
Got it.
Awesome.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
why I don't know.
Guys, as always, it is always a great time chatting with you. I always look forward to the Mondays, triggering Roman, hanging out with Steven. I, of course, am John, the creative blue collar guy. Thank you all so much for watching and being part of the chat this week. And we'll see you guys next time. Signing off.
Peace out.
Be excellent to each other.